Welcome to Tansson TV Plus. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mom.
Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yep, thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, we always love doing this. And Mom, how are you doing today?
I am doing fine, Brandon. How are you doing today?
All was well here.
That sounds great. And today, Brandon, do you know what we're going to talk about?
What's that?
We are going to talk about Earth Day. And Brandon, guess what show we are going to use to talk about Earth Day?
I'll let you say it.
All right, we're going to talk about another Charlie Brown special. This one's called "It's the Small Things, Charlie Brown," and it is for Earth Day, which is today, April 22nd. And Earth Day generally is about raising awareness and promoting environmental stewardship. And this is something that occurs in this particular Charlie Brown episode.
Well, I'm excited for us to go ahead and dive right into it.
Alrighty. And this episode takes place in 2022. Charlie Brown, just to give a little bit of backstory, Charlie Brown is kind of anxious about the baseball game that he has coming up with Peppermint Patty. It's his team against Peppermint Patty's team. And most of the Charlie Brown gang is really on Charlie Brown's team. But anyway, he can't see beyond really just playing the game and winning the game. His sister Sally is now finally old enough to help play the game also, and she wants to be on the team with Charlie Brown. And so, unfortunately, Sally's just not quite as coordinated as Charlie would like her to be. And she knows this, he knows this. And so, at some point in time, Sally kind of notices that on the mound that Charlie Brown, pitches from, that there's a flower there. And so she becomes very attached to this flower. And so this is really where this episode stems from. It's about Sally and the flower and her thoughts about this flower. And then it kind of builds from there.
Well, Mom, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, Brandon.
And overall, what did you think about the special?
Well, Charlie Brown specials go two ways. Sometimes they're just cutesy, and other times they have deeper meanings. And this is one of those episodes that had a deeper meaning. And so I like the episode. Like I said, it was much deeper than I thought it really was going to be. But I did like the episode. And I will say this, it was also a little longer than some of the other episodes. It might be because it was a modern day one, but this one was over 40 minutes.
Yes, and yeah, I certainly really enjoyed it as well. And yeah, something that I've noticed with some of these newer Peanut specials is that we're able to shift our focus a little bit from not just having Charlie Brown. So in this case, I'd say the focus would be Sally.
Yeah, it was Sally, and you're true. That is very correct, Brandon. The newer episodes we've noticed actually focus on one person amongst the group, and there's much more deepness, I think, in these episodes than some of the other episodes.
But I would arguably say that even some of the older specials do sort of carry that layer. But I think every special is sort of its own product, and so some specials are more about a specific day or holiday. Others might be about a certain event, or some are just informative messages, and this one definitely is both informative message and I would say it is themed towards Earth Day, although it doesn't ever explicitly mention it, though.
No, they don't. I think what's interesting about this one is even though they don't say it's Earth Day, they're pretty overt in how they get the message out in regards to it. And that's because Sally has a song that she sings. When Sally sings a song, even though once more she does not say Earth Day, she does mention about how it's important to kind of look around you and to visualize everything. She said, and she talks about sharing the ground and not being alone, and then people working together. But at the same time, she's referring to this flower that she's looking at, and she's telling Charlie Brown to look at this flower so he will know the effect that this flower has.
Yeah, and personally, I really enjoy the song and the meaning that is put into the special. I think it's very effective, and yeah, to me, it doesn't seem out of character for a Peanut special by any means necessary.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's like some of the other specials that do have a deeper meaning.
Yeah, and I will say that we got some pretty strong emotions, like when between Charlie Brown and his sister Sally.
Yeah, we did. We had, well, not just between them, but it was Sally's reaction when Charlie Brown actually took the flower, and the flower appeared as though it died when the flower was uprooted from the ground. And so you could see the reaction from Sally, and then you could see how Charlie Brown reacted later when she kind of chased after him, chased after her.
Yeah, and so overall, was I like the way that it was paced, and so yeah. But I thought it was interesting that they actually focused quite a bit of it on on baseball prior to heading into the more Earth Day themes.
Yeah, I was too. But then I guess they were able to show how the grounds could change. They were able to show the effect of how the baseball field looked before flowers were planted, and then they had a scene that showed how the field looked after the flowers were planted on the field, and it made Charlie Brown kind of aware of his surroundings. And then he was able to take Sally back there to kind of see the field, to see how everything had blossomed.
Yeah, and I think it really emphasizes that. I mean, that message of that every individual can have a meaning, can have purpose, and I mean, Sal's purpose in this special was to protect that flower at all costs. And so, while the flower may not be there, the new mascot is the dandelions, and yeah, and they have a beautiful park now.
Yes, very, very, very true. And one of the messages that to me it seemed to say is that the simple things kind of make the difference, and then the earth itself is a little bit is more important than baseball. Which, for Charlie Brown's reference, that's kind of what he needed to hear was that there were other things more important than baseball. Even though they will say he did lose the game, but yes, he needed to find out there were more things important than baseball.
Oh, absolutely, and especially for Charlie Brown, considering that his team got 0 to 100.
Yes, yes, and Peppermint Patty's look on her face, the happiness that she felt when you looked at the board and then you looked at Peppermint Patty.
Yeah, it certainly was quite special. And yeah, I personally, like I said, really enjoyed the special, and it's been fun going over these past few months looking at the different Peanut specials, especially ones from the varying decades.
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch. And of course, we have more that we're going to tackle a little later in the season, if not this week also.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to tune in, and this one is overall number 47 out of the 51 specials.
Yes, yes. So if you haven't taken a look at this episode, go check it out. It's on at this point in time. It's on Apple TV.
Yeah, so you can definitely go ahead and check it out there. And one minor thing I just wanted to mention is that I'm pretty sure that there was a scene or two that had more than one Franklin.
Yeah, you noticed that too. Yes, there were. It was Franklin, and there were a couple other ones that I guess in the cartoon world that they do, but the duplicate. But yes, there was more than one Franklin that we both noticed in this episode.
Yeah, maybe Franklin has a younger sibling or a cousin. Just because the other person that looks like Franklin looked a tad shorter than everyone else, so maybe Franklin has a brother now, maybe?
Yeah, I guess so. We'll have to see if another special pops up about Franklin. We've already talked about one of them.
Yes, and I will say this is the most recent of the Peanut specials to actually have in the title the words Charlie Brown.
Okay, well that's good to know. Good to know. Let's see, and we'd love to hear from you guys. If you, which Charlie Brown special do you guys like? Have you seen this one before? I had not seen it before when I watched this, so let us know.
Yeah, definitely. Please do. And I will say it's written actually by the Schultz family in part.
Yes, they are still involved. Well, I say we thank everybody for watching today.
Yes, we definitely do.
All right, and we'll see you next time.
Have a wonderful day.
All right, bye bye, everybody.